So this is what we were hiking down to, and we'll be hiking away from.
Hi there, day 6 in Grandas de Salime. Cold and windy, raining, cloudy, but only 20 kilometers. Fairly easy ride for me, although it was the toughest maybe 5-kilometer stretch and climb into the town here. Tom, of course, is walking. We'll see him later. A couple of general comments about Spain, and I think I'm also drawing from past trips here is, you know, when you come into a cafe, this one actually is an exception. The owner, the person running it, is pretty dour. You know, they don't seem that happy to see you. There's not much in the way of smiles or interaction, you know, to make you comfortable. It's almost like they don't want your business. So, you know, when you look around, they sure do need your business. It could be that they just don't want. It could be as simple as they just don't want to interact because they don't have any English. Of course, we don't have any Spanish, and we're the visitors, so we're trying to be nice, but maybe they don't feel like they have to or don't want to. And on those same cafes, those same businesses, there's really, in my estimation, a lack of pride somehow. It could be they're making no money and it's sort of survival, but there's just not much attention to the environment. I'd say that's 8 out of 10 are pretty bare bones and with a lack of real atmosphere. I mean, you still get your nice, inexpensive cafe lattes and sandwiches and the like, but it's not somewhere where you want to hang out in. I'm guessing they're, in some cases, they're just hanging on. So they're not putting another nickel into the business to make it look nice or comfortable.
Good day. So today was a different day. It was a short day, but there was a difficult climb, which was fine. But we had a long downhill to a dam, and it just absolutely killed my knees and my thighs. This is my third, sort of 2.5 Caminos. This was by far the worst I've had on my legs in all of them. So I'm feeling a little difficult. Having said that, once I got to the dam at the bottom of the hill, it was a pretty easy climb up to where we're staying tonight. So I've had dinner, I've had wine, feeling good. It's a good Camino. Thanks. That's all for now. This is the first marker for Galicia, and you probably can't see it, but just below the yellow arrow, it says KM 166.098. So it's the first time that's marked because it's Galicia. Now that's Galicia. This is more like it and more like De Francis. You're walking along a nice path beside a nice stream.
Yes. Good evening. Day 7, which was a tough day. Tough day for me. One of the toughest things I've ever had to do, which sounds really dramatic, and I apologize, but it was steep, it was cold, it was raining, and I was frozen stiff. There was times when I wasn't sure if I was going to get hypothermia or something. Tracy and I did the Inca Trail, and there was a day on that trail where I remember we were stretched to the max. This day was equal to that for me, not necessarily for Tom. I'll let Tom speak for himself. So it was lovely to get to the end. Although at the end I know I had to order a coffee at the first cafe I could find, and I had my hands around the coffee for 45 minutes just to thaw them. They were frozen solid. Yeah, I know, it's mid-May and we're talking about northern Spain and weather that certainly I wasn't expecting. So that was day 7, and hopefully we have some pictures for you. And then day 8 today was Fonsagrada to Lugo. Again, for me, I'm just not going to go on about it. Tough day in the saddle, but getting to Lugo is lovely, beautiful city. Again, this is a city. The other places have been either villages or towns, and we're here for a couple of nights, so that's nice. So we have a day off, in other words, tomorrow. Anyway, that's my report. I'm going to let Tom wade in and tell his story about days 7 and 8. Bye for now.
So today is day 7, Grandes de Salime to Fonsagrada, and it started out pretty well, except I was about 10 minutes in and I stopped at a cafe for my coffee con leche and croissant. And I went to look for some place to put my backpack and realized I didn't have my backpack. I actually left the albergue without my backpack. Talk about being old. Anyway, I went back. The day was split into 3 distinct sections. The first section was beautiful. It's just like being on the Française through farm country. There was some problem with the footing. There's a lot of wet mud, but it was flat and rolling hills. It was really beautiful. In the middle, we hit a mountain. Like previous days, really tough. Steep up, steep down. During that, we crossed from Asturias to Galicia, which was interesting. And at the bottom of the climb, there was a cafe where every pilgrim, it seems like, stopped. So that was fun. It was just packed with other pilgrims, and I had a baguette and a beer. And then the last third was like the first third. Flat, rolling hills, like being on the Camino Frances, so it was really nice. Until we got to Fonsagrada. And then they put a really steep, long climb into the city. It was brutal. Great decision. It was a really good day. It was long, but it was like being on the Camino Frances. It was beautiful scenery. Anything that in the profile looked like a hill was actually a slope. The only problem with the day was at the end of the day I ended up with this guy beside me. And we're in Lugo, and we decided to take a day off, which I'm really excited about being a tourist in this great town. I just wish I had a friend.
Enough.
I wish I had a friend here. It would have been really fun. So that's it for day 8. Thank you.